Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It's Riza and I as we wait for Princess to show up, and we know what that's like. So we're just talking about life and what's going on, and of course, the wonderful merch that we're working through. So if you're joining us either live on Instagram or on YouTube. Welcome to Habanos Saturday. And right now, we're just making fun of the merch that we have. So as I sit here in the almost dark studio, there you have it. But soon the studio.
I apologize. I'm always going through some teething problem. Not teething problems. I'm just trying to set up the lighting and everything. When
that's why we do this early.
Don't forget. Last week,
you were in a graveyard.
I was in a graveyard, and I wonder how that came across as a show, because that was a bit unexpected. And I'll be honest with you, I was. This is not the right words necessarily, but it was a very nice that even that's going to come out wrong. It was a nice place to be.
It was a wonderful event.
It was just a very crisp morning on a very scenic part of London, which happened to be a cemetery. It just happened to be a cemetery, and I wasn't there for a particularly good reason. I was there for a funeral, a cremation of the father of a friend of mine. But I wonder how that came across. Now I'm back in the studio to do the roundup show of the year. I wonder what thoughts you have. What was your most interesting show of the year? Or can you not remember that far back?
Wow, that's almost hurtful. I think here's the funny part. In the beginning of the year, we did Lost Dollar Business Club, and we had presidential candidates come on the show. We had Guy Standing come on the show, Michael Collins come on the show, and a host of others. So overall, for the most interesting, outside of the cigar show, some of the Lost Dollar Business Club episodes, very interesting. For the cigar show, having Aaron Sigmund come on, who is absolutely wonderful and a genius. And if you ask him, he'll tell you that. But having him come on was very cool. Always having Uris and John Marie come on is wonderful. AJ coming on is always a pleasure. So, I mean, there's like,
there was the Jasim show. Laurent from Habanos News has come on a couple of times.
That's true. And we had that girl on, the girl who such a good cigar.
Amy was on, yes.
That you really, at the end of the day, were like, Amy doesn't know anything about cigars. Anyway, but she was fun. I mean, all the guests are fun. All the shows. Jason was interesting. You know, he did this and very flamboyant, and all the gay guys in Key West go, when can we meet him? And I was like, hey, I can't help you with that. So it's just everybody. I don't know how to put this. Very fortunate that our channel has about 30 different shows, so we get to meet interesting people from around the world.
You do get interesting people on, and I've always found with these shows. Yeah. The ones that become interesting are the shows you weren't necessarily expecting to be interesting. They just take a little turn and dive, and they're gone.
Yeah. And this is one of them, actually. And the cigar show is one of the most interesting. You have a guy like Urs, as you like to call him, better known as Stephen.
Yes.
Urs. Every time I say that, I feel like I have to go to the restroom. I hurt myself.
I'm going to give a very quick shout out, actually. There is a very nice young chap visiting from Germany. His name's Chris Pleisner. I've met him before, and we had a plan to have a smoke this morning, and I forgot that we do this recording. When I say I forgot, I don't mean that in a bad way. This is just part of the infrastructure of a Saturday morning. From time to time, you kind of like, you forget your own, you know you've got a nose, you forget you've got a nose. It's one of those things. So a shout out to him. Maybe we'll get together for a smoke before he goes back to Germany.
There you go. And then but yeah, it's just even the people, Cyril from Bazaar, who made my leather goods, I mean, like all these people, because of the show that I would have never met, is wonderful. So so the 2025 has been an interesting year, not only for the cigar show, but for the channel 20F in general. So and thank the fans. It's just been great. So I mean, it's like very cool. I mean, and we're never really serious on the show, so this will be the serious part. We'll edit this shit out, of course. But no, it really is. It's just wonderful. Like, the overwhelming support and reaction from the fans regarding the show is phenomenal. Like, I'm shocked.
I say this a lot. I don't know if you agree with me yet. it was never meant to be really, not in my head anyway, at least. It wasn't meant to be a show. It was meant to
Right.
be a sort of a chin wag, a chit chat, a
Yeah.
catch up. If there's any interesting material, you've got it recorded, you can put it out. It's that, it was meant to be that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm a little bit surprised myself that the audience has grown that way, and
Yeah.
that your channel and this program has attracted some of the pretty top personalities in the cigar smoking community. I'm
Yeah.
trying not to use this word industry anymore because it sounds too industrial. It sounds too,
It's, when you say industry, it sounds like the porno. It's like the industry sounds like porn. It sounds
yeah,
like you should be
it has
going to
too
make
much of a
OnlyFans.
mechanized feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has too much of a mechanized connotation, in fact, right? So cigar smoking was always a hobby. It was a
Yeah.
pursuit. It was a, uh, you know, an entertainment activity, right?
Yeah.
So certainly where we sit, we're cigar smokers, and we like to comment and on what's going on, and like watching your favorite football team or basketball team. You get,
Right.
we're sort of like Beavis and Butthead.
Right. We are definitely like Beavis and Butthead. That is very,
Or,
very
or,
true.
or the two old guys from the Muppet Show, remember, who sit on the balcony, and all
Hmm.
they do is I can never remember their names actually, but all they do is they insult the acts. And anyway, so I'm having a bit of a sort of a roundup kind of moment. This is the end of the year roundup
Yeah, I
moment.
see that. Yeah, no, listen, it's very nice. The fans are wonderful. And as soon as we start traveling in 26, and if I go to Dubai, I know there's like 10 fans that are like, you have to come smoke with us. I know when I go to London, there's, AJ wants us to come do a show with AJ at number 6. So all these people have been graciously opening up their stores, their clubs and whatever. Like, you guys travel, you come hang out with us. So it's very nice to have all the fans do that.
What do
So
you
I'm very
think people?
excited
Well,
about
what
that.
do you think people make of us? So, I mean, Usman is not on right now, but what do you think people make of us? What is your
Well,
feedback?
my feedback is I'm very much like Don Rickles, Groucho Marx, and it's like the same. Everyone's like, that RZA. Oh my God! I'm like, yeah, and they go and they like the feedback and what we do and how we do it, and so it's a good thing. Never a bad thing. No one's ever said I hate the way you guys do stuff.
When
They
I
always
logged
like,
off,
oh, okay.
when I got off the program last week, because I
Yeah.
was sort of like,
You were at the
doing this.
cremation. Sure, you had things to do. You had
Yeah,
to
yeah,
bury a
yeah.
dead person.
I later on that day had a very quick catch up on the show, and I saw that
Yeah.
you carried on with Usman, and you
Yeah.
perhaps talked about cigars of the year, and I think you were talking about mainly New World cigars. That's my recollection.
We talked a little bit
Um,
50-50. The reason we talked more New World is because we knew this week would be the Cubans. So we figured we would do, we talk about Cubans. There's no reason to not talk about Cubans without you. New World, there's only one there's two. You like the Davidoff Year of the Snake, blah, 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 and some crap called Camacho. And other than
no,
that,
that
that's
was
all you got.
last year. That was
Yeah.
last year.
All right.
That
I
was
can't wait
last
to hear
year.
this year's. Yeah.
So one of the guests that we had on, Aaron Sigmund, very
Yeah.
very exceedingly well informed person on cigars at almost every level. I think
Yeah.
he's written a book about cigars,
Like 10
perhaps.
of
I,
them.
I think
Yeah.
he mentioned it. I don't recall. Um, Here's one of the threads that I picked up on from him, which is it made me kind of not reevaluate, but I had to kind of crunch the numbers again. His assertion that, listen, one of the problems that people get with Cuban versus non-Cuban is that's how they see it, and the more people talk about it that way, that's how they see it. He said actually all cigars are different. They have their own. They have their own characters, like so cigars from Honduras or
Right.
Nicaragua, and we're talking about puros here, and even non-puros. Yeah, his emphasis was stop seeing cigars as Cuban versus non-Cuban.
Correct.
See them for what they are. You can still like them or dislike them, but see them
Right.
for what they are because they have their own intrinsic value. You wouldn't compare a bottle of orange juice to a bottle of wine,
Correct.
even though they come in a bottle, right? Okay, which is a very intelligent, thoughtful thing to say. I mean, I think he's wrong, but it's a very intelligent sort of thing to say, right? Yeah, you can compare a bottle of wine to a bottle of
Right.
orange juice. You could say the one that you prefer, and you could say one is not like the other. Yeah, right. Okay. So this is semi-serious. It's sort of like we like to stay in that twilight zone of is it serious or is it not serious? It's a bit of a twilight zone kind of
Right.
area. Yeah, which is where I think the fun happens, especially on our show when we deal with guests, right? Okay,
That's true.
are we being serious? Are we being cutting? Are we being polite? It's sort of like that sort of vague, unfamiliar area that people find themselves in, and they don't quite know what they're dealing with. But I
Right.
think when it comes to cigars, when it comes to us chatting with people, people are getting a bit of a better idea that we're not here really for any malicious intent.
Right.
We're here really because we like to hang out, and just like buddies, we like to poke at
Yeah.
each other, pull each other's leg, and from time to time, and it's very, very rare, compliment each other.
Yes,
Same
that's
with
very
cigars.
true.
Same with
That is very
cigars.
true. Yeah.
Same with cigars, yeah. And when we talk about cigars of the year, this is for me, it's like food.
Yeah.
Cigars become like food. We eat food absolutely every single day, right? Yeah, you'll almost never go to someone and say, "What was your favorite breakfast of the year?" or
Right.
"Your favorite egg that you ate."
Right. That's
Correct?
true.
Yeah,
Right.
right. That won't happen. Actually, the thing that always sticks in the mind for me is not a specific food or a specific cigar. For me, what's the way I remember a cigar is who I smoked it with. Was I enjoying myself? Was
Yeah.
it a moment? Was there
Right.
something funny said? Was there a and that's how I remember. Really, to be if I'm quite honest, yeah, I'm not a self professed cigar aficionado. I would never dare call myself
Right.
an aficionado. I'm not that vain. Um,
Oh, that's great.
uh,
That's the funniest thing I've heard all morning. But no, keep going. So,
but I'm more of a catcher of moments,
right.
and if I can remember some good cigar moments, I'm going to wait for Usman to come onto the show.
Well, just to
I
let you
think
know,
this might be about cigar
Princess.
moments rather than
Yeah,
cigars.
okay, but Princess is going to be 15 to 20 minutes late this morning. So technically, Princess won't be here for another 30 minutes or so. So what we're going to do, because she's running late, is we're going to do this, and then we're going to talk about cigar moments.
This is True OF Entertainment.
Welcome to Habanos Saturday, the fastest growing cigar show on YouTube with over 100,000 subscribers. Come join us every Saturday live. Every Saturday live.
There we go. Now we got all the legal stuff out of the way, because Princess just sent us a voicemail saying she's running a little late. That's how princesses are. We're used to it. But anyway, so we'll talk about cigar moments. Everybody that's watching on Instagram, welcome to the show, because we have people watching on Instagram. Who knew? And there you go. So tell me about your moments. I mean, I know you've had several. You've had a few.
So many cigar moments. I mean, rewinding. So luckily, just to get my brain in order, maybe a couple of weeks ago, what I did is I went through all the videos that I took for Instagram this year. And I went back to January all the way down to December, and I tried to pick out some of my cigar heroes.
Okay.
Or not necessarily even cigar hero. I mean, okay, let's be honest, cigar heroes, people that I took videos of throughout the year. And that actually gave me a nice reminder. You forget what happened at the beginning of the year because it almost feels like last year, right?
Right.
It gave me a nice reminder of all the fun cigar moments I've kind of had, right? And this is a cigar I've spoken about before. Not recently, but before. This was the launch, the Selectos number 3 in the beginning of the year in London. So this was Hunters and Francow released the UK regional edition.
Okay.
And that was a cigar that Anna Lopez managed to Jedi mind trick me into thinking had lavender associated with it.
Yes,
Right.
we all remember.
And it wasn't
that
a Jedi mind trick. And actually, I didn't know Anna as well then as I know her now.
Right.
And I didn't really pick up on the nuance of the fact that she was just taking the piss. To be very honest, yeah. I suspect these Cubans find it funny that everyone around the world wants to attach these sort of like tasting notes to cigars that are basically just tobacco, right? Either it's
Right.
good tobacco or bad tobacco. And I learned something then, yeah. But that's a memorable cigar because I smoked it at least 5 or 6 times, and I smoked it, on my own. I smoked it Tom Tom, smoked it with Ana Lopez, and that was a great, not a, I won't say it's a great cigar, but it's a great memory, okay, of a cigar. And that's, I think, uh, imagine someone smoking that cigar for the first, imagine smoking a cigar for the first time. It's that cigar, and you smoke it in that context, and that's the cigar you remember. It may not be a great cigar, but those are the things you remember.
Well, the other
How
thing
about
for
you?
me,
Should we oscillate? What about one of your cigar memories?
we could oscillate. Watch. Anyway,
Go for it.
there you go. I think one of the cool moments for me was not so much the cigar, but remember, this is what got you and the Davidoff, Roy going. You got to have an Instagram. You got to have an Instagram. You're an influencer, which is bullshit. Anyway, that's how even Steven came. But remember the guy from Easy Ash that I met smoking cigars?
Yeah. With the
That-
is that
the cardboard ashtray that we folded
Cardboard
and
ashtray.
did the live little thing for fun. That was memorable just because it was sort of like a one-off.
It was
Just
very
sitting there,
impromptu.
just talking. Yeah, so it was one of those. This is cool. Couldn't tell you the cigar I was smoking, but it was just in the moment of that's really cool. Like this guy was like, "Here's a fan. He's got a." So it was one of those things, and that's a lot of my moments are with the fans because I go to where my chemist is. We sit outside. I smoke. People come up. We talk. And so a lot of the moments or the cigar stuff is mostly with the fans because it's just the interaction with them is very cool. So, in fact, the one of the coolest memories is when the cigar lounge or the chemist shop that I go to, we had AJ Patel on that morning. And when I walked in that afternoon, everybody knew who I was, only not because of the show or because of you.
Because of AJ
It
Patel.
was AJ Patel. They're like, we love AJ. We didn't know that was you. Oh my God. Now they watch the show religiously. And I just started to laugh. I'm like, great, thanks. So AJ, thank you. So it's one of those things. And then when I'm outside just enjoying the day, smoking a cigar, somebody will say something and they'll be like, that guy has a cigar show, go talk to him. And then all of a sudden, I'm pontificating on stuff I know nothing about, just remembering all the conversations I had with you guys.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, you segued in nicely. AJ's reference takes me to another cigar moment that happened. I believe it was February or March in this year.
right.
So AJ held a Bihike event. It was a quite grand event, actually. So Christian and Zhao accompanied me to that event. That was at number 6 Cavendish with AJ and Rika, and AJ's family was there. His dear wife Bhavna was there. The whole staff. Anyway, but this was a fabulous event because it's a memorable event because one of the photos I took is on my Instagram. It did really, really well. It was AJ as a sort of a wizarding sorcerer, and he's standing in front of a yellow Cohiba 40th anniversary box by
Yes.
Eddie Bleu.
I remember that.
And AJ's wearing the white wizarding hat, and there's a glow coming from that. So actually, to be very honest, it was a very nice. It wasn't an impromptu photo. I took a moment to take but that photo has left a great memory of a great event. We smoked Bihike 52s. It was a very extraordinary event. It was full of magic. My recollection is they had live music there. So I'll be very honest with you. This is what happens to me. The cigar must have been great. The Bihike 52 must have been great, but I don't remember it for the cigar. I remember it for the event, and I remember it for the ambiance.
Right.
And that's an example of me for a cigar being bigger than the cigar itself, because the cigar is the root of that experience, but it's that ethereal smoke that goes around it is the thing that you remember, and that's what's. I think that's what's the beauty of an industry which has become very, very events focused. That some of the people who curate really good events manage to leave a really great memory. I mean, you can go to 100 events and then they all become samey. But that was a very, very memorable event. Very memorable event.
One of the cool things for me was I haven't met him in person, but he sends me stuff all the time. Ruben,
yes.
Ruben sent me a Juan Lopez. Shout out to Juan. Argentino Regional. And let me tell you, Juan
Connoisseur,
and I
who's
are,
the Grand
yeah,
Paragon.
thank you very little. Juan and I now are having an affair and soon to be wed and have children. But that was a great smoke. So to me,
It was
that
a great
moments
smoke.
like that, and if it wasn't for the show, would have never met the Rudon. And so
Well,
things along,
well,
you know what I mean? And
I,
then,
I
and it's beautiful.
no, Doctor, I concur. I concur because I smoked that specific cigar
Right.
with Mustafa and Dodd.
Yes.
Mustafa and Dodd outside a pub in Hampstead called the Old White Bear.
Of
And we were
course.
sitting, so this would have been sort of late summer when it's just beginning to get slightly chilly.
Right.
And beautiful pub, the Old White Bear, which is a big white polar bear. Very scenic part of Hampstead, sitting on the benches
I'm
outside,
glad you
facing the
clarified that. I
sun,
thought it was a
smoking
gay
on a
bar.
Sabi.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I thought it was a gay bar, big white bear. Yeah, it could go either way. So I'm
Yeah,
glad you
well, no,
clarified it.
I'm glad I explained it then. I'm glad
Yes.
I explained it. I think it's in reference to the constellations.
Yes.
You know, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor,
Sure.
Ursus being the bear.
There we go.
Because
So,
a lot of these pubs have sort of symbolic and hidden meanings. But
yes.
the Old White Bear, and I'm not giving a shout out to the pub, but that created a memory. Sitting outside smoking this cigar, and you're smoking something, and you're smoking relatively exotic leaf, sitting on a hill in Hampstead. Wonderful, wonderful experience. So that's another memory.
Right. That's very nice. And it's funny because those two gentlemen, if I'm not mistaken, came through Princess that you met them. Weren't those the two guys that you met through Princess?
No, well, partly right. Dodd I met through Usman, and Dodd
That's
is
Princess.
one of those. Dodd is sort of a North London, a North London person, and he lives in Dubai, but a very, very classy private individual. Very
And
much
he
into the
hangs out with
cigar scene.
you.
In fact, I encountered Dodd first time on Cigar Keep. He was a Cigar Keep
Okay.
ambassador for a
Oh,
while,
okay, very nice. Shout out to
and
Cigar Keep.
connected through the Cigar Keep of Kirby Allison fame, and we had a great smoke, and that's how I met him, and then we continued to meet, and in that spirit.
Very cool. Now, fans, if you're watching, whether it's on Instagram here or on YouTube, and you want to tell us about your cigar moment, because we got a whole bunch of people on Instagram that are watching. But if you want to tell us about your cigar moment, please feel free. We'd like to hear about it. Don't worry, we'll rebroadcast the show. You can relive it with us. But anyway, no, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. The show, and for the people that don't know, just started out with like we all like hanging out. So it's almost like a Zoom call, and it's like, we'll do a show. And but to your point, it's sort of like if you just it's like no different than if every Saturday we met at if you will Tom Tom's or number 6 Cavendish to have a smoke. It's the same thing. It just happens,
Well,
we're in 3 different time zones and everyone's around the world all the time.
well, now I'm going to give out a bit of a shout out to Tom Tom, and when I say Tom Tom, I mean specifically Christian Secchi.
Christian, right?
So Christian's a dear friend, and during this year, I rediscovered a cigar, which is basically, I've said this throughout the year, I haven't changed my mind, I'm going to say it
Right.
again. I rediscovered a cigar that I used to smoke quite a lot, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Sort of like I can even say between 2008 and 2014, I smoked this cigar a lot. It kind of fell off my radar.
Right.
Prices have changed. The way you buy cigars, the way I buy cigars have changed. I kind of, as I'm getting older, I look much more for value than for rarity. Um, and this was a cigar that I used to buy very regularly,
Right.
maybe 4 or 5 times in a week, even sometimes. This was the Cohiba Siglo II, or the second
Nice.
century. It used to come in tubes most of the time. I used to pick it up in places like Luxembourg and at JJ Fox and Selfridges, where I used to do most of my, and also so there was a great terrace in London, the Churchill Terrace at the Hyatt Hotel, and that's kind of a little bit fallen off the radar for most people. But it was a great terrace. So I would have thought its peak period was about between 2012 and 2014, 2015. Um, and I used to smoke Siglo too, but I rediscovered Siglo too at Tom Tom through Christian
Okay.
this year. And I would imagine that was about 5 or 6 months ago. And ever since, I find if I don't know what to smoke, I smoke a Siglo too. An outstanding cigar. An outstanding cigar. I think I think the fashion and trends in cigar smoking, I've noticed that people are just smoking sort of like, sort of slightly bigger ring gauge cigars
Yeah.
generally, or slightly small ring gauge cigars like Lanceros. So
Yep.
the mid range don't really see that often. And Siglo 2 is a fantastic, fantastic smoke. Fantastic smoke. I cannot. But I suspect that Christian, for some reason, managed to have a great stock of them, and I that tasting note continued where I smoked that cigar at number 10 Manchester, which
Right.
is another great. Well, it's a hotel in London, not too far away. And then I got onto this thing. Wherever I go, I'll smoke a Siglo too. I've smoked it at number 6 Cavendish. I've
Right.
smoked it
Right.
at 114 Kensington Cigar Shop. What a great place that is. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
and
surprised
I
these guys don't
found,
have the show on their televisions when you walk in. It
oh,
should
they've
be
got, yeah,
constantly
one
the feed.
114 have got like, I don't know, 8 televisions. They
We should be on at
specialize.
least half. I
No,
mean, you know.
it's truly, I think 114 is one of those unsung heroes.
Okay.
It's a hero cigar lounge that doesn't shout too much about itself.
Okay.
It's in a great part of London. It's on Kensington Church Street, but it's actually
Mhm.
much closer to Notting Hill Gate,
Oh, very
like a
nice
two, 3 minute walk from Notting Hill Gate.
for you
And
Grant fans.
the owner of Ed,
Ed.
is
Hey, Ed.
Ed is a very, very, I would say, cool and understated fellow, because what he's done, he's curated a place for his pleasure, really, and other people come and smoke there. And
Yeah.
it's it has a Tom Tom vibe to it, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if that's an accident. If there may be some inspiration even drawn from Tom Tom, because Tom Tom, one of the things I liked about Tom Tom, and the first time I went there was literally by accident, maybe 3.5, 4 years ago.
Okay.
I walked I walked past Tom Tom, realized it was a cigar shop, walked in and met Christian.
Okay.
And Christian had, I think the place had just been refurbished a week before, and took me straight away downstairs to show me what downstairs was about. And then I was, so basically I was in love with that place. I sort of like,
Okay.
it's like a newborn baby, and you get to see it for the first time.
Yeah. If
And
you're
the
into that.
vibe, no, and the vibe of that place,
Right.
is a very modern speakeasy.
Okay.
You've got seats outside. You've got a beautiful humidor, walk-in humidor upstairs. And most people, now everyone knows, yeah, but most people don't realize that when you go through the walk-in humidor, you go downstairs and you got a lounge. And anyone who goes down is always visually surprised. I think I've sat in Tom Tom maybe 100 times and seen new people come downstairs and see it, and they're always surprised.
Nice. Very nice.
And anyway, so 114
Yeah.
Kensington Cigar Shop has that same surprise vibe. You're not expecting to get what it is, because it's very understated outside. The shop has no decoration, no signage
Right.
on the outside. You press a buzzer, you go in, and you're going into a private member's lounge without
Oh,
knowing
wow.
what. If you're going for the first time, you just don't know, and you're
Right.
so surprised, pleasantly surprised at how
But how can I go in if
crisp
it's a
and
private
clean.
members lounge?
Sorry.
How do I get in if it's a private member lounge?
What's the modus operandum in the UK is that when you go to places like this, you have to book beforehand. Everywhere, number 6 Cavendish included.
Okay.
So what you do is you go to an app like Open Table or whatever it is, whatever they're on, yeah. Or you
Yeah.
have to call and book and say, look, I'm coming. I'll be coming at this time. Can I have a place for 2 people? And if you're a regular, you should know those things already. Did you?
Okay.
You can't get away with crap. Yeah. But that's the modus operandi in London. Anyway,
Okay.
The reason I was talking about 114 is I also tried the Siglo 2 there, and I found consistency. That product has some level of consistency that it's kind of being lost.
Right.
And that, for that reason, because I've smoked it in so many different locations, I've smoked it over the last 7 months, maybe 30 times. That's my cigar of the year.
Wow. You
So
said
I've given
that. You
you a
said that
slightly an
earlier.
extended remix reason for that being the cigar of the year. I will have
to tell you, I have smoking the one I showed you last week, the Partagas. I have smoked the Monte Cristo #2. I have smoked a whole bunch of Cubans this year, and my Cuban cigar of the year would have to be the Juan Lopez Regional that I had. That was just
It's an outstanding cigar. It's a great looking cigar.
Yeah, and I brought tears to my eyes. Like I said, Juan and I are planning to be wed and have children, and so I can just get the cigars. But anyway, that was a beautiful cigar. There you go. Let's get a close-up of this. There you have it, the Juan Lopez, ladies and gentlemen.
Grand Patagon it was.
Yep, there you go.
Mm.
But yeah, so I truly enjoyed that.
That box got finished in 10 days. 10 cigars, 10 days.
I'm surprised it took that long.
It was like a regular smoke. Shouldn't be. So I concur with you. That's a great smoke. Very, very satisfying smoke. Very good looking smoke. Very consistent smoke. Yeah. What's not to like?
Well, here's the other interesting thing is a fan said last week, which is true. we had Urson talking about how you maintain a multi-$100 million billion collection in pesos. And he said, Stephen and Riza are cigar smokers. Urs is a collector, which is probably very true because someone could give me the rarest cigar in the world. It would last maybe a week or two in my humidor. And I'd be like, yeah, I got to smoke it. So the only thing that I'm collecting apparently are the pre-embargo Cubans because I've had one and it was like smoking a rolled up newspaper. There's no more whatever. So it's just there. I guess one day I'll do an Urs and I'll auction them off or take them to an auction house. But other than that, anything I get, I smoke because I want to enjoy it. It's like the same we've talked about this with supercars. Why am I going to leave it parked in the garage? I want to drive it.
Yeah, I mean, these communities, car collectors, cigar smokers, these communities have been around such a while. And also due to social media, I'm becoming aware, and things are changing, that there's so many different types of smokers.
Yes.
Sometimes I just hang on to the past and I think, oh, I wish it was just like this, but it's not. The world keeps changing. Right. And you have, like, when it comes to smokers, there are people who want to be smokers, who wish they were smokers, who are collectors, who are posers, who are there doing it for lifestyle. There are some people who are doing it for business networking. There's no end of reasons why some people doing it as a habit. Some people doing it because they're lonely and they want to sit around with 3 other people smoking a cigar. I mean, who knows? Yeah. And then the whole mixture's in the middle. But that's not what cigar smoking used to be about. And that's fine. It's not what it used to be about. The world moves on. But with the diversity of community of cigar smokers, there comes the advantages. You get now more sophisticated people who know exactly what they're collecting, what they're smoking. They can talk about the history of cigars, and you get more fluff as well. You get you get more of everything. You get more people who haven't got a clue, a lifestyle smoker. And to be very honest with you, for 2026, I'm going to move forward from that. These are people. There's all sorts of people who are part of this industry.
Now, I will say, Urs just sent us a message that said, I'm smoking my collection. Yes, he's not only smoking it, but he's auctioning it off into
Bear with me 1 second. I've got a delivery at the front door. Bear with me 1 second.
All right, kids, I'm going to do a puppet show while we wait for Rizza to come back. While we wait for Rizza, look, merch is in. Sorry, wrong side. Merch, Habanos Saturday stuff. And while we wait for Rizza to come back, while he's getting his delivery, we'll run a little commercial. You asked for it, fans, and you got it. The one and only Habanos Saturday cigar collection. From polo shirts to T-shirts to backpacks to coffee mugs to slippers and sneakers with cigars on them. you can have the exclusive collection for Habanos Saturday. Don't miss this. Go to Habanos Saturday YouTube channel at 2OF Entertainment if you would like to get your exclusive collection. All right, and we're back. You're still stuck with me for another minute while we wait for Riza. For you that are just joining the show, we're talking about our favorite moments of 2025, as well as the cigars that we like for 2025, as well as our favorite cigar moments, our favorite guests, and whatnot. You're more than welcome to join the discussion. Feel free to type in Henny's back. Congratulations. Hopefully you got your package. So there you go.
Sorry, that's one of the. I mean, it's not a show. It's just guys getting together, and life goes on. You get deliveries, etc., etc., etc.
I know. So I ran a commercial. I showed the merch. Look, here we go. Habana got the merch. And on my Instagram today, I'll show the baseball cap.
I'm just disappointed you haven't put our faces on that.
No.
Like
If you want our faces, Dave does have in the merch our faces in the merch. He took care of that for us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we promised you, here comes. We know she's coming. Here we know. We know she's coming. Here we go. She's coming with her escort.
Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting for her. Miss Pakistan, 1933. Here she is. Usman. And here the show, you have 168 hours to prepare and you're driving in a car. What planet are you on?
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you very much for accepting me. I was going to be completely aware.
It's cutting in and out.
A few hours ago, as a result of which I was not able to reach my destination to join the show from the studios. Hence, I am driving right now and reaching home to be with you in a proper format. So I did not want to waste more time and hence joined from here.
All right. Well, we were talking about our favorite Usman moments where we made fun of you and showing a whole bunch of clips. It was a wonderful show.
I'm very certain about that part.
Well, we started off the show here. We can ask you the same question. What was your favorite moment of 2025?
Cigar moment.
There you go. Cigar moment. Yes, not your personal moment.
That's easy for him. It's going to be the Habanos Festival.
Wait, the one fan wants to know before you start, why is it dark outside? Usman is in Pakistan, my friend.
I'm in
Pakistan. Different time zones. All three of us are in different time zones.
It is almost 5:30, 5:15 p.m. My time, and given it is winters, 5:15 these days is sunset.
Yeah, so and the other thing to let the fan know, Pakistan doesn't pay their electric bill on time, so at 5 o'clock they shut off the sun. It's just the way it goes. In the summertime, they pay it a little extra for people, just to let you have it.
Yes, sir. Right. So cigar moments of 2025, I would say of course, as a guest is right. My cigar moment of 2025 was the first evening smoke that I had or I enjoyed on the rooftop of Havana, along with few of my friends and group. So where we went for the festival. So that first evening was the most magical moment, I would say, because overlooking the Capitolio building, sitting on the rooftop of Kempinski, smoking some fine cigars, and some Cuban singers were singing and playing those musical instruments that they have. So I think that was one of the most relaxing and most memorable moments for me.
Do you remember what cigars you smoked, or was that secondary?
Yes. So I do remember the cigar. The cigar that I smoked at that time was Partaga Slinia Maestra's Origin, which was given to me by Jasim Ahmed, my dear friend and brother. So Jasim gave me an Origin, and I was sitting on the terrace and we were smoking those cigars. So I remember that.
But the point that I was trying to make is the moment is greater than the cigar. But even though the cigar is the nub, the moment is greater, and that's the thing you remember. Because if you're first time in Cuba and you're sitting there facing the Capitolio building, yeah, um, that's going to supersede. That's going to overtake you.
I remember because the cigar had no band on it, and I asked him what is it, because I thought it was maybe a custom roll, and he said no, it is not a custom roll, it's a origin that I got from the factory, and that's how I know.
Well,
All
there you
right,
go.
so it's two things really quick. Somebody's, I think, is giving you a compliment. They're calling you a curvy Ballywood. So congratulations, you're a curvy Ballywood person. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not.
I don't understand what does that mean, but okay, fine.
I don't know either. So, but I'm going to tell them thank you, I guess, because it sounds like a compliment. And this fan's number one cigar of the year is the Diplomatico something or other. You guys read that later.
Sorry.
And
What diplomat? What is
can you
their
read that,
cigar of the
Rizzo?
year?
What's your Diplomatic? Can you read that, Rizzo? The Diplomatico.
I can't even see where you're seeing these
Oh
messages.
my God! Okay,
I've
it's the
never understood it.
Diplomatico Genos
Oh, Genos.
Phonetica.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and they
So if
want
it
to know
is
your
Genos,
opinion of it.
right? So diplomat is a region from India that was done and launched of not only smoking that cigar but actually seeing that cigar being rolled at the La Corona factory the day I was there for my factory visit during the
Of course
Habanos
you did.
Festival.
Right.
And at the end of the show, the factory director gave all of the visitors one of that cigar to
Nice.
smoke. So that's how I remember and I recognize that cigar. To
What's
me,
your
it is
thought
a
of it?
decent cigar. So I think it needs time and age more. It is a good cigar,
Okay.
and Diplomaticos is a great brand, but it still needs time to age before it becomes the real gem.
Gotcha.
And it's not only because of one time. I've smoked it thrice in this year, and every time I felt the same.
Yep. And one of our other fans said, "Sort out your connection, mate. Can't watch like this." Yes, we know Princess is driving because she wanted to be part of the show. They'll be home in a little bit, and he'll be in studio, and they'll be fine. So we apologize for the bad connection. So there you go.
My sincere apologies once again, but I had not planned an accident happening on the way, hence the delay.
Yeah, because you only have 168 hours to prepare for the show. So anyway, but that's thank you. You're quite welcome.
So if I'm not wrong, the whole plan was to talk about our cigar of the year, the top 3 cigars of the year. Have you both discussed that already?
I've discussed my cigar of the year throughout the year, and I've also just discussed it before you came on the show. For all sorts of reasons, cut it down to now mine's Siglo 2.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So that is your cigar of the year. What is your second favorite and third favorite Cuban cigar of the year? Because today was about Cuban cigars.
So my second favorite is actually Steven's first favorite, which is the Juan Lopez Grand Patagon Connoisseur.
Okay.
Connoisseur. Yeah. That's my second favorite.
And the third one?
And the third one is going to be another classic, which I don't believe people talk about enough, but when they smoke it, they think, wow, why don't I smoke this cigar more? Is the H. Upmann Half Corona.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Your connection's bad, so I'm going to speak over you while your connection's bad. Right, your connection's bad. Hold on a second. Let me get your connection back. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there we go.
Can you hear me? Okay. So for me, the cigar of the year, or my favorite cigar number 1, is H. Upmann Sir Winston. And when I say H. Upmann Sir regular H. Upmann Sir Winston, I'm talking of the H. Upmann Sir Winston Grand Corona. Oh, sorry, Grand Reserva. So a GR, and I loved the way it smoked. I smoked it on my birthday this time, on the 19th of April. And there is no doubt that I chose that cigar for the right moment. It was gifted by a friend from Italy. last year when we met in Qatar on the Trinidad event, and I kept it to be a special one for my birthday. So I smoked the H. Upmann Sir Winston Grand Reserva on my birthday, and that is the cigar of the year for me.
Very nice.
For the for the second cigar, I would say it was the La Gloria Cubana Media Dior #1, which
Okay.
I smoked at the Habibi Cigar Club event in Dubai, which was also a contribution and a gift made by a dear friend Saad Al Awadi, based in Dubai, who had gifted that box for that event. So the La Gloria Cubana Medio #1, which is a discontinued cigar, and this was a box from 2001 or 2002, if I'm not wrong. That was my #2 cigar of the year. As for my third cigar for this year, I would say the H. Upmann Magnum Finite, which is the limited edition for 2024. I would say that was my cigar #3 for this year, and I say it with firm belief that this will be a cigar which, with age and with time on it, become the replacement for Magnum 56, which is my favorite edition limitada for the last 10 years. So
Very nice.
here you have it. Three cigars for me in this year. H. Upmann the Winston Grand Reserva, followed by La Gloria Cubana Media Dior #1, followed by the H. Upmann Magnum Finite Edition Limitada 2024.
All right. Well, then my three cigars, you already know my #1, the Juan Lopez Regional, which was my #1 cigar, Cuban cigar of the year. My #2 is the H. Upmann 54, which once
Ah,
again, I was gifted by Mr. Ruban. So thank you. And then my third cigar of the year, I did have a Trinidad. I did have this Diplomatico actually last week from a friend of mine named Ben. I thought it was very good, but it was the Monte Cristo #2.
oh
Which
wow.
I enjoyed the Monte Cristo #2 tremendously. So that would be my third in my top three Cuban cigars of the year this year for me. So there you
Superb.
go.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And the year's not over yet, kids. We've got another 2 weekends, or this is the last weekend of Cigar Aficionado smoking. So that could change by next Saturday's show. So we'll see.
Oh, that is very true.
We have Cuban Sunday here. So and then we bring cigars too, which is very nice. So there we go. I think, and Usman is home, ladies and gentlemen, which means he will be in the studio momentarily. So for the fans that will
Still 5 minutes for me to reach there.
oh my God! All right, we'll entertain the fans with a puppet show. So, what was your top moments of the show? Riz and I were discussing our top moments of the show. What's your top moments of the show?
My top moment of the show, when I actually called Raza's bluff and left the show.
A couple of weeks ago, that was awesome. That was funny.
And what made you think that was a bluff?
Yeah.
So, see, it wasn't a bluff from my side either.
Oh my God!
You said I'm going to leave the show. I said go leave the show, and you left the show. I think that was this is how we folks talk. We just sort of like, if that's what you want to do that.
It's just like three friends hanging out. Now, the other thing, who were your favorite guests this year? We've discussed who ours were. Basically, Riz and I were each other's favorite guests because we have no ego. Who was your favorite guest this year?
You are putting me on spot when you're asking
Yes.
this, because
Yes.
you know I love Jasem. I really respect Ajay, and I
There you go,
really
sucking
learn a
up.
lot from Aaron Thigpen.
He's
So
sucking.
it would be an extremely hard one for me. Hence, I would say Jasem, Ajay, and Aaron Segment were my top guests for this year.
Wow, Urs and JM don't even make his list. See, he just threw
They
you
are
guys
not
under
guests.
the bus.
I don't treat them as guests. They are brothers and friends from the family. As simple as that.
My favorite guest of the year was Amy.
Oh my God! Please stop.
Oh, nice!
No way.
How nice!
No,
How nice! How
pulling
wonderful!
your leg. He threw her under the bus the next week like there was no tomorrow. We were trying to be nice to her.
How? I think your recollection of events is
Really?
dire.
Really? Do you need to go watch that show? Yeah.
It's absolutely dire.
And if I may, I'd like to quote, that chick knew nothing about cigars, and there were other quotes and a few other things. Yeah. Okay.
I think the only person who said that was you.
That's a true statement. Listen, I thought she was delightful. She'd be fun to hang out with and smoke a cigar. You have to, but her knowledge is she needs to catch up to knowledge of the cigar. I did hear, and I won't use her in this joke because we know she gets offended when she's used in a joke, but I did hear there was a female cigar aficionado learning to play golf, and she couldn't hit the ball that well. And the golf club said, I want you to hold the golf club like you hold your husband's penis. And the next shot was 350 yards. And then the club said, the club pro said, that's wonderful, but now you got to get the club out of your mouth. Anyway, I think moving on, I think we had some interesting guests this year. It's not a kids show. Just so we're
See,
clear.
you offended Raza. He's gone away.
Yeah, I didn't offend Reza. He's whatchamacallit. He's writing this down. He's going to be using it later when he goes and smokes cigars. I think Amy was an interesting guest. It was fun to have a female guest on. I know we keep saying that AJ's daughter's going to come on at some point. She would be fun because she actually knows cigars. So to hear her take on cigars would be awesome. So hopefully she'll come on. I thought we were going to have Sir somebody or other that you were arranging.
To Winston.
Sir Winston was going to come on and talk about Save the Cigars, but he never made it. So I'm not sure if he saw the show and realized I didn't want to come on. So, but yeah, so we had great guests with all our guests. I learn all the time from our guests. I learn from you too. So I every show is a learning experience. I learn a little bit of something, which is always good.
That is very true, and very, very kind of you to say it that way, because that is the only time when you say things like this. Otherwise, on the show, you just give it off to us most of the time, as an elder brother does all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're not on, we really you shouldn't probably watch the first 30 minutes before you joined. But anyway, the fans loved it, and that's the important thing.
Now that I know that you guys actually say a lot of fun stuff about me in those 30 minutes, I ensure that once it is done and the rebroadcast happens, I go live and I watch it. What have you said this time about me, from being shot on a Viagra to being being handicapped or being kidnapped by someone, to I don't know, God knows what you guys all tell me. But yeah, okay, fine. That's a love you show me, and I respect that.
All right. We do love you. So, we're always joking with you. So, and someone's got to pick on you, and it should be us. So that's how we look at it. Yeah.
See, as they say, if somebody has to hit my brother, I'll be the one, not anyone else. So
there you go. It's like when I grew up in New York, you couldn't pick on the kids on our block. Only we can pick on you. And if the next block over picked on you, we had to fight you because you couldn't pick on there are brothers and sisters that pick on, not yours. So it's the same.
Yes, exactly.
If anybody else would pick on you, Riz and I would, at some point come to your defense a week or two later. Yeah. We don't want to rush it. But
it's a different mentality. It's a different mentality.
It's very
you know what? Just on that topic that we talked about, that mentality. I think that mentality is gonna end with my generation, because the next generation after millennials doesn't understand this concept, where it is a form of love that we show by being tough on our own people. So only us, people from, and I say that because right now on the show, in addition to 3 friends, technically you are 3 generations, because we have 40s, 50s, and of course 70s on the show.
And at least 2 different species, because Stephen's a vampire.
That's very true, right? Yeah.
He never sleeps. Doesn't matter what time you message him, you get calls from him throughout the day, all day.
That is very true.
That's very true. You guys, I know I do text you guys at anywhere from 24/7. And I do, and I call Rizza. I get to my office extremely early, and I'll call him like, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "I'm still sleeping." I'm like, "Pussy, I'm up." It's like, let's get going. I got things. So but yeah, but it's good. So we span many generations on the show, many time zones, different religions, different everything. But at the end of the day, we're all brothers, and there you go. So that's what makes our show good. Now, let me ask you this: with 2026 coming around the corner, because next week is the last show of the year. Next Saturday will be the last show. It'll be the 27th of December. This is the 20th of December. Do we have any exciting guests that we think are coming on in 2026?
Let's see. 2025 overall, 2025 from a political, economic, spiritual perspective.
Oh.
One thing I've understood is you can't predict anything anymore.
That's true.
You really cannot predict anything anymore. You have pundits who are talking about what do you think the year 2026 is going to be like? I haven't got a clue. And who's going to come on? Who's not going to come on? What is the Cuban cigar industry going to look like? What is the cigar smoking going to look like? I haven't got a clue. It changed dramatically this year. It changed very, very dramatically this year. Let's see what it's going to look like next year.
Yeah, next year, I think.
This year, we had a whole bunch of people claiming to be experts on cigars and
that we're not.
and hadn't picked up a cigar.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In recent times, and when I say that, I don't say that to poke. Yeah, I'm really seeing a big change. I'm seeing that. Look, the activity of smoking cigars is a very old world activity.
Right.
It's predominantly a male, and anyone who argues with me on this is more than welcome to present an argument. But this is the way I see it. It was predominantly a male pursuit.
Right.
Having said that, the industry itself, if you go to places like Cuba or you go to Dominican Republic or wherever cigars are made, the manufacturing base is almost entirely ladies. It's a very, very weird industry from that perspective, very weird pursuit. But as of late, in the last, 10 years, and now increasingly in the last year, I've just noticed a huge plethora of the ladies entering the industry. And I have a feeling more than anything else is they've latched onto the lifestyle and events part of the industry. They like to sit together in communal groups. It's a very rare thing for me to see a lady smoking on her own in a cigar lounge.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
You see guys sitting around smoking on their own. You see guys sitting in groups. You don't see. So what I mean is the love of the leaf itself, right? I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there are many of them, but I don't see them yet. I see it more as a group activity, a social activity, and that's what, generally speaking, the ladies thrive at. They have their qualities. We have our qualities.
They have qualities. Wow.
Yeah, some are far better than ours, and their quality, the thing that they bring to the cigar smoking scene, as far as I can see, is a sense of normality. Because you have that sense of normality when you go and watch a movie. You go to the cinema. You've got all. You have that sense of normality in restaurants. But I've always found that when you go to a cigar lounge, it's guys sitting around on dusty leather chairs, right? And that scene has dramatically changed for the better. It's now, it's a much more vibrant, alluring industry. Yeah, I really like that. No one's going to stop me using my words. It's a very alluring industry. You eat with your eyes, you buy with your tastes, and you find company where the company is great and it's intellectual. It has beauty to it. It has charm to it. It has a lot of qualities. Yeah. So that is what's changed significantly in 2025.
Right.
I suspect you're going to get more of the same in 2026, but equally, I don't know how. I can't predict where this is going. I think you're going to. I think 2026. I think you're going to see a lot more of as 2025 demonstrated, a lot more releases of sort of put the Cubans to one side, other sort of cigars from other regions, other purists.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get a lot more of that in 2026.
Well, yeah, between the small batch and even the larger companies like a JC Newman who makes non-Cubans, they came out with their Florida tobacco cigar called the Tampa, which actually isn't a bad cigar. Davidoff keeps coming up with stuff. So I mean, yeah, I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to be like the automobile industry was at its peak, and at some point it'll just kind of back implode, and it'll just be the X amount of brands. Because I think a lot of people, to your point, smoke cigars because you're like, it makes them look like something or do something or whatever. And there's a
It's a
certain
participation.
yeah,
Participation.
you get like a trophy. And there's the rest of us we just smoke cigars for the love of the cigar. So I think a lot of these people, to your point, and possibly females and male, that are doing it for the lifestyle, for the Instagram, for their YouTube channel, they'll fade away at some point.
What I don't like is like, I mean, yeah, everyone can do what they want. No one's stopping anyone, right? Do what you want, yeah. What I don't like is this slightly vain and narcissistic behavior of I know something about something I don't know about, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know where the Tampa cigar is, where you can get the Tampa. I would imagine you
Steve,
can
I'm
get it in
wondering where you
Tampa.
can get the Tampa cigar. So the Tampa cigar is, from what I can tell, is sold at the Corona Cigar Shop, or you can go to coronacigars.com and look for JC Newman or Diamond Crown. JC Newman makes a Diamond Crown cigar, and the Diamond Crown cigar will be Diamond Crown with a Tampa. If you go to the evensteven.cigar Instagram page, you will actually see a couple pictures of it. I think I took one last week. It's a great smoke. And it's Florida tobacco. I don't think they sell it outside of here. I could be totally wrong, but coronacigar.com would actually have that if you want to if you want to buy a stick or a box. Not a bad smoke. It would be I think it was one of my top 10 for non-Cubans for 2025. Just there you go. So.
Usman is driving through fog. I hear it's very foggy in Lahore.
There you go. Yeah, I'm trying to. He's on mute. We're trying to unmute him. There you go. So yeah, so that's how you get the whatchamacallit. That's how you get the.
It is foggy. It is foggy here these days because the winter season and the fog season has officially started, which means with the sunset until the sunrise, generally it gets a little visibility based challenge, and to get hampered because of this. This is a phenomenon.
We lost him. Okay. Anyway, Usman, you need to come back to us when you're actually stationary. So anyway, the fan said because he's only found the normal Diamond Crown. Like I said, unfortunately or fortunately, I think the JC Newman is in Ybor City, and the Corona cigar stores are all over, like Tampa, Sarasota, and whatnot. So if you go to their website, you will find the Diamond Crown Tampa brand. So there you go. But yeah, I understand they don't make them for everything. They run. My understanding is it's a limited run production. Great smoke if you can get a hold of it. But I think the Corona cigar people are the only people that have it. So there you go. But yeah, great smoke. There you go. There's my commercial for JC Newman and Diamond Crown. Thank you very much. So there you have it. Rizza, what else you want to discuss, or are we going to say that goodbye to the fans until next week?
I think we should do that because the next week's show is the actual, I guess, roundup. We'll smoke something special on the roundup show. We've had it's kind of like, because this is a very casual thing, we're all a little bit impromptu, even though everything happens on a Saturday. The build up to Christmas, everything is, sort of like dysfunctional. But I think what we should do next week is smoke something nice each, and sort of like as three friends say goodbye to the show, because it's not going to be on in 2026.
It's not? When did this happen? Did I not get the memo?
Oh, no, it is. Oh, okay. Well, then
we are doing it. Yeah, we keep going. We keep going.
We
keep going. We keep going. Yeah. I'm going to smoke next week a BK Cohiba 15th anniversary, I think, is what my understanding is what I'm being brought. So I will show it to you guys, and you can tell me how wrong I am on that. But that will be my smoke of the week. Now, for the fans of you, before we leave, that are not Christian, or Muslim and any other religion that celebrates the fakakta Christmas here with the make-believe stuff. To the Jewish fans, happy Hanukkah. To the other fans who celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. And to every other, and whatever other holidays, just be safe, have a good holiday, and I hope you get everything you want.
Well, I'm Muslim, but I celebrate Christmas, and what I mean is by celebrating Christmas. Let me be clear.
This will be good.
It's a seasonal thing. It's a bit of fun. It's for the kids, you know. I mean, you know, it's a wonderful, especially in London. Yeah.
Your kids are
London,
grown.
right? Holidays are coming. Santa on a big Coca-Cola rig. Yeah, it's like it's a bit of a make-believe kind of atmosphere. The atmosphere. I'm celebrating the atmosphere. I'll be very honest with you, right? Okay, I celebrate the atmosphere of Christmas. It's really good fun. You have Christmas movies on. You have like different kind of food. You have darkness at 3:00 in the afternoon in London. You have beautiful lights. What's not to celebrate? It's good fun, huh?
That's good. Now we can end the show. That Usman's in.
Now we can end the show.
So, all right. So we were just talking about.
Thank you very much for bearing with me, and my sincere apologies for all of this mess.
No worries. So next week, kids, we're going to do a real wrap up of 2025. Talk about what's coming in 2026. If we know any guests that are coming, we'll let you know. You celebrate with the pagans, yes.
Pagans, nothing to do with pagans. It's nothing to do with religion. It's not really Christmas. You know. Whoever you. If you want to talk about Orthodoxy, the Russian Orthodox Church, the Greek Orthodox Church, the Coptics, they have different times for this. Yeah, when no one. Christmas is, if you've lived in a country like the UK for the last 50 years, I have, is part of the culture. It's a cultural thing.
I live in America.
Right. If you want to have a gripe about rights and wrongs of religion, this is not the place. The thing is this: it's a seasonal thing. It's very, very dark, dank months in the northern hemisphere. You have some nice lights, you have some seasonal festivity. Good. It makes people feel better when there's no bloody sunlight. That's it.
Well, let me just say this. Oris is saying, do you have a black Santa like we do in Switzerland? I don't. Only in America we have, it's all got it. We all have to have white people. I don't know what to tell you, Oris. I don't know why.
Oris,
we should have a black Santa. We should have a rainbow Santa. I want a Jewish, Puerto Rican, black, every other kind of Santa. That's what Santa should be, right? He should just be flamboyant and come out.
Can I ask a question that leads out of this
discussion? Yes.
What Cuban cigar would Santa Claus smoke? If Santa Claus had a cigar, what would he smoke?
Okay, that's a good question. Usman, you're the sommelier.
My bias for H. Upman is a lot.
There it comes.
So I think
no, not what you would smoke. What would Santa Claus smoke?
Well, given the fact that Christmas and Santa Claus are termed and connected with the red color and all of that stuff, so I'm guessing something from the Romeo Julieta or H. Upman or Juan Lopez.
I think he would smoke a Partagas. I think he would smoke a Partagas. That's about as red as you get.
Yeah, Partagas it is, my friend. And to the fan who said, do I want a woke Santa? Sure, why not? Everything else is woke except the three of us. Santa might as well be woke too. Because if Santa was the kind of Santa I want, none of these little brats would be getting toys ever. Because they're all screwed up. Anyway, so fans, we love all of you. We hope you've enjoyed it. We have one more show for 2025. We will be back in 2026. Just to let you know, 2OF will be celebrating its 5th year of doing shows. So, yeah, I know. It can't be very little. So, David is very happy. He's doing all this AI stuff. We'll see what happens. I think at Disney can hook you up with a black and Jewish Santa. I love it. That's great. Walt, give me a call. I know you're in that Crino thing. You're probably alive. Other than that, guys, we will be back next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want merch, it's out. I'll take a picture later with some stuff. I'll put it on my Instagram. You're more than welcome to get it. If you don't want the merch, don't get it. We're going to tell you. But like and subscribe. Tell your friends. We appreciate all of you, and without you, we really wouldn't have a show. The three of us would just be on a Zoom call smoking cigars, but we're glad we can invite you into our little crazy world for an hour or two every Saturday. Anything else before we go, boys, or is that it?
Lots
I
of
think
love.
that's good for now.
Lots of love, everybody. Cheers.